Alright, hey everyone, Noah Walker here, back with my video series Accumulated Knowledge for Team Cardhoarder. This week, I'm going to be battling with Miracles against fellow Team Cardhoarder member, Devin Kepke. Alright, I'm playing Joe Lissette's list, so here we are with the first match. Yes, I'd like to play first. Alright, this hand is pretty bad. There's like only one land, even though it has a top. I don't really think I want to keep this hand. This hand would be really good if we drew something like a Brainstorm, but we also need a white source. So I don't think this hand is great. I don't know. I'm no Miracles expert, so I'm not really sure if this hand is all that capable. But I do think that, top is like the most important card in this deck. And Terminus is good, especially if we're playing against a creature deck. I happen to know that we're playing against Shardless Bug, but you probably wouldn't know under most circumstances. I just think this hand is like not that strong, so I'm fine mulliganing it. This hand's a bit better. It sucks that the Cavern of Souls is actually kind of clunky here because we have the counterbalance that we want to play on turn 2, but I think this is keep regardless. Second Force, don't really need that. I'm going to put it on bottom. And just lead off with Volk. I almost want to end a turn Brainstorm here just to ensure that we can cast the turn 2 counterbalance, but that's probably pretty loose, so I don't think I will. Ooh, a Wasteland. That makes me kind of want to Brainstorm, though. Okay, yeah, I'm glad that I cast that Brainstorm. Just because I think that, like, if we don't cast Brainstorm there, then we don't really have a chance to cast a Brainstorm the next turn unless we draw the blue source literally as our next card. So I'm going to put it click Jace, because I think if we want to pitch anything to force, it's Jace this game, because we're not casting Jace anytime that soon. But maybe we just pitch Counterbalance to it. I'm not really positive. Ancestral, okay. Alright, so now that we don't know any of the top cards of our library, I'm kind of thinking about casting the Brainstorm here, just in case we find a fetch land, then we can shuffle away something and just have more resources to cast the Click and then the Jace. Because if we don't, then we'll just have to naturally draw lands if we want to cast our spells sometime. So I'm gonna Brainstorm here. Ooh, we found plenty of lands. Okay, I'm gonna put back. Huh. This is kind of a tough decision. Huh. I kind of want to put back. This is really tough. I'm just really not familiar with, what's the most important thing to do in this with this deck, or even in this matchup. So. I could shuffle away cards, but I actually think that all the cards that we have right here are pretty good, so there's no reason for me to want to crack the fetch immediately. But I kind of want to have access to the Force of Will next turn if I decide to do it. I think that this turn I'm just going to play Karakas and then Cavern, so that I have enough lands to cast the Jace, or the Click and the Jace. And if we play Karakas, then we have the Plow up this turn, so I guess that I can put back the Flooded Strand if it's what I'm going to be casting last. Maybe I'll put back like Strand Click. Yeah, like that. So if you cast something that we need to counter, we can force it, pitching the Counterbalance. We have enough lands so that we can naturally draw into the Click next turn to cast it, and then the land for the Strand for the Jace. So I actually think this is pretty good. Alright, got a fetch for a Bayou. And a Strix. Yeah, Strix is a great card. I don't think it's worth it to counter here, though. I might plow it, though, end of turn, just because we want to get the Click online. I think I'm going to draw step, click him. Just to get rid of something like Goyf, I guess. Or name Wizard. Because then it cast this, and it cast Snapcaster, and cast all the stuff that we want. Kind of sucks to play the click without Caracas up, but I don't think waiting is like fantastic. So, and I'd rather just know that we have free range for this Jace, because I think the vision is still suspended at 2. Yeah, it is. So that means that next turn we can cast the Jace, and then the following turn we can cast Counterbalance, and then hopefully like have, get lucky, have a 0 on top, or like if we draw another blue spell, then we don't have to keep the force up. All right, his hand is quite good. What's really good about his hand is just the multiple Goyfs and the Jays. I actually guess like the Abrupt Decay isn't insane. Especially since we know he has it, we don't really care to keep the counterbalance around now. You could probably just take a Goyf here. It's definitely either a Goyf or a Jace. Kind of sucks that we use the plow. So this turn he's basically forced to Abrupt Decay the click, because we have Caracas in play, and we can just bounce it at any other time. So he's spending his turn using the Abrupt Decay. I think I actually want to take the Jace here just because it's the most powerful card in his hand. And it's like definitely the best card against our deck. And it's only a blue card, so if he draws something like a force off of it, he still won't have a way to deal with our Jace. So I'm just going to take the Jace. If he wants to like play something like Tarmogoyf this turn instead of Abrupt Decay the click, then we can just play our own Jace and minus to bounce the Tarmogoyf for super good tempo. Deluge for 1, maybe? Oh yeah, he did Deluge for 1. I didn't mean to F6 there, but I wasn't countering that Deluge for 1 anyway, so. Alright. I think I'm just going to get another basic island with this. Actually, maybe it's Tundra. Because if we get Tundra, then he can waste us off double blue, but he can't waste us off of having a single white source in play. I bet he doesn't have that many wastelands in his deck, though. Probably just like 2. This is pretty close, actually. I'm just going to get the basic island, actually. And I'm going to brainstorm with this. Ooh, okay, we found a top, which is great. We have another Caracas, which is pretty poor, but top is fantastic. And we actually have a Snapcaster, which is really good because we have a plow in the yard, and we know that he has the Goyfs. So I think we're gonna Force of Will the Ancestral Vision. We could like rely on revealing a 0 with the counterbalance, but he has Decay in hand, so that's not that's not actually a realistic plan. So just gonna put Caracas top back on top and pass. Alright, counter comes off that. Oh, I should not keep. Bad habit to keep yielding until end of turn, because we have just Force of Will blue card in our hand. So if he just drew like a Jace or something and we had yielded until end of turn, that could have been very bad. But turned it off, safe. Goyf is fine because we have the Snapcaster and the plow. Oh, he's not playing another Goyf, interestingly enough. So we know that in his hand is Goyf, Decay, Mystery card. I'm just going to keep brainstorming with this Jace. Just to keep getting actual cards. Ooh, a second click is pretty good. I'm going to put back the Caracas and one of the Snapcasters. And then play the top. So yeah, the Force of Will on the Ancestral Vision pitching the counterbalance is pretty easy here because we know these 2 Decays in hand, and like that is pretty good against counterbalance, I'd say. Alright. Yeah, this game seems to be going great. Unless he has, like... something like a Spell Pierce, I don't know. His deck can't play Spell Pierce because he plays Shardless Agent, so he doesn't really have any answers to this Plow except for what can I think right now? Doesn't have very many answers to the Plow aside from force pitch a blue card. So there's that. Alright, Goyf is fine. What is he casting? Deathray. Alright, Deathray's great. Kind of annoying because we have the Snapcaster, but it's not doing all that much, so. Another Deathray. So we know the last two cards in his hand are both Abrupt Decays. So here we could start plussing with the Jace just because we know his whole hand. And if he does draw something like a Jace, we're pretty weak to it. So I could see an argument for making that play. And also, it's likely that he's just going to use one of the Abrupt Decays in his hand on the Snapcaster. Then we can play the click, get something else out of his hand possibly if he's drawn it, or just, you know, not take anything from his hand, block the Goyf, and then bounce it. But it's a little risky because then he can end up Abrupt Decaying the click. This is kind of a tough decision. I think the best play is to maybe just Brainstorm. I don't know. Jason Mind Sculptor is so powerful that it's like hard to decide what to do with it every turn. Yeah, I'm just gonna Brainstorm. When in doubt, draw some cards. All right, there's another Jace, which is pretty good. Another Caracas, which is really sucks here. I wish we had like a land that was like a fetch land or something so we could shuffle away this Caracas. It's just doing absolutely nothing for us here, so sad to have it. Ooh, okay, so looking back on the play that I just made, I think that's pretty bad that I didn't decide to +2 with the Jace, just because since he has 2 Abrupt Decays, he can make sure to use them both to kill the Jace no matter what. So like here we'll play the click, target him with the trigger, and wow, he's just getting aggro at this Jace. Which makes sense. Kind of. So yeah, we're definitely play click target him. He can Abrupt Decay it, which is fine. Then we can just Caracas it. Alright, so it sucks that Jace is dying here, but I think that even if I had plus the Jace, it would have died. He has Pulse in hand. Yeah, I'm going to take that card because we have another Jace in hand. So it's actually a pretty good card to take. So here we could spin top on the upkeep, but I'm not really sure if that's what we want to do. We have a top and a Caracas on top. We could play Jace, bounce Tarmogoyf, which also doesn't seem very great. I think the play might just be Snapcaster, Brainstorm. Just because this is the only turn that we can actually cast Snapcaster, because he has the 2 Deathray Shamans, so. The question is, what lane do I want to leave up? I kind of want to leave up the Caracas in case we find another source of Plowshares, or like a Terminus or something. That's the real card we're looking for here, is a Terminus. That card is super good against his deck. Okay, fetch lands are fantastic. Fetch lands are basically the best cards in this deck because it plays top. So you just want to fetch as much as possible. And here I'm just going to fetch up a Tundra. I don't think I'm going to jump block this Tarmogoyf. I think that our life total is high enough where we don't really need to. But I kind of want to look with Sensei's Divining Top to decide. Like, if there's a Terminus here, then I might just, like, draw it almost. Ooh, okay, so there's counterbalance now. So since we have a fetch land now, we know that we've gone through 2 Abrupt Decays, so he only has max 2 left. So it might be worth it to just keep this counterbalance and then play it next turn. Then play the fetch land, crack it. Start looking for another good answer. But maybe it's better to just play the Jace. I'm definitely going to put the counterbalance on top because I think it's good enough to keep here. Now that we've gone through 2 decays. And I'm definitely going to crack this fetch line to get rid of the lance. But I don't think I want to block this Tarmogoyf. Next turn we can just play Jace minus on the Tarmogoyf and then have the Snapcaster up, so. Him. Okay, him's kind of annoying. Luckily we kept the best card. Ancestral. Ooh. Okay, that's a little annoying. Use top again. I kind of want to draw the Flooded Strand now. I think we're going to play Jace, bounce Tarmogoyf, play a fetch land, pass. So I think that we want it in Plains, Counterbalance, and then Flooded Strand order. Because we're going to definitely play this Jace and the Flooded Strand. And then, depending on what he does on his turn, we can decide if we want to crack the fetch land or, you know, keep it, bounce the Goyf. We can even use top and then decide if we want to crack the fetch, so tons of options here. But the clock is getting, you know, relatively real. We're on what? 2 puts us at 10. Then it only takes 5 more activations from Death Rites, so that's a 3-turn clock. So we have to find something relatively soon. But we can also minus with the Jace, which saves us like a turn. I'm actually leaning towards cracking the fetch land here, just because from what we know so far, Counterbalance it's not the greatest card. We really want to find something like Terminus here. That card would shift the game dramatically, so something like that would be perfect. So if there's a Terminus on top, obviously we'll keep on top, but let's see what he's drawn. Alright, Blades of Goyf, that is fine. I'll spin top in response, I guess. Might as well. Alright, yeah, it's just the counterbalance and a couple lands, so I think I'm going to crack the fetch land end of turn. I'm going to get another Tundra, just so that Wasteland doesn't do a whole lot against us. Alright, deck. Looking for one of those. One of them Terminus. Alright. Counterbalance isn't horrible, but it's not great. I kind of almost just want to draw the land first, but I think I'm going to brainstorm with Jace here, so. Because we have to find something good, basically. Alright, top, well, counterbalance. We could keep minus one-ing, but that's just not really getting us anywhere, so I am going to brainstorm. Ooh, we found an Entreat the Angels. So we can put back top, then Entreat, play land, let him go 2 attack steps, play Entreat for 5, and then have like 1,000,000 damage. So no attacks, of course. Alright. It's getting kind of scary, though. Maybe it was better there to like -1 to bounce Deathrite. I don't know. It seems like if I had -1 to bounce Deathrite, looked at the top 3 cards at the top, and kept the Volcanic Island in play, then similar things would be happening this turn, except for we'd be up like 1 more Deathrite activation, and maybe that's the best. Because now basically we're dead. We're dead on board, more or less. So we can cast this for 5, which is good. We get a lot of creatures. Five. We'll just block it with a bunch of those. We really need a sort of splashers here, though. Or a Terminus, of course, but... Yeah, I mean, we'd have one less 4/4 if we had done it the other way around. I don't know. This play just doesn't seem fantastic to me. The previous turn, because now we're literally dead on port to the Deathrite Shaman. So hopefully this top serves us well. Alright, those cards aren't great. We have to brainstorm because we are dead. And then just hope that... I guess Plow doesn't even save us here anymore because I messed up a bit, so... Snap. Can't Snapcast or anything back. Oh, but there's only 2 instants or sorceries in the graveyard. So we're not actually dead to the Deathrite Shamans. As dead as we thought. So if he draws... Oh no, there's Entreat also. Dang. So we are dead. That's a little unfortunate. I wish that there was something we could target in the yard, so then we could like put the Snapcaster on top, draw in response to the Snapcaster, in response to the Deathrite Shaman activation, and play it. That's rough. Alright, I'm just gonna swing. Maybe he'll mess up. Gaining 2 life. Wow, that's ambitious. That just can't be right, actually. Now if we had something like a Swords to Plowshares, we wouldn't be dead. So I'm gonna see if he messes up again, because that's really the only way we can win this game. Ooh. So he's exiling our Entreat, which was our out, casting the Snap on Entreat. So I think we're actually dead. Yeah, that sucks. So a couple turns ago, if we had minus to bounce a Deathrite, I think it would have came out a little better than brainstorming. I just wanted to dig a card deeper because we had the top in play already, and it seemed like we had a bit of time. And I figured we'd find a Terminus, honestly. But we didn't find one, and now we're super dead to these Deathrite Shamans, so... What's really surprising to me is that he gained 2 life. Just made it so it was possible for us to not be, you know, dead. I suppose he has to play around us having a plow. No, he doesn't. If he had a plow, he'd be dead anyways, so. Yeah, I felt like super far ahead that game. I feel like there could have been a way that I could play that game to not die. Maybe it was right to chump block with the Snapcaster Mage the turn that I figured that we had enough life, just because it put us on a much shorter clock to the death rights. I'm not positive. All right, game 2. So what do I want in this matchup? I don't think his deck plays any basic lands, so back to basics is probably great. His deck plays a lot of non-flying creatures, so Moat could be powerful. I definitely want the 4th Sword Splashers because that card's great. Rest in Peace is really good against Deathrite Shaman and Tarmogoyf, so I think that warrants bringing it in. Since we're bringing in the Rest in Pieces, I think we're probably supposed to take out Snapcaster Mages. And Counterbalance is definitely really bad against his deck, so. Seems like Pyroblast effects are okay. So if we have 7 cards that we want to bring out, I think all these cards are pretty poopy in this matchup. So taking them out seems okay. Spellslinger's great. Venzer's probably pretty good. Jace is definitely insane. So we have 5. Maybe bring in a Moat and a Pyroblast. I don't think like the Pyroblast effects are insane against his deck, but I think they're pretty good. I think Back to Basics is insane though. Even though he's playing a deck with Abrupt Decay, I don't think he keeps in all of them. And we take out Counterbalances just because it's that bad against Abrupt Decay. But I think Back to Basics is powerful enough where it's just something that we want. Maybe it's right to bring in more moats. Like maybe I'm supposed to shave a Venser or something. Maybe that's fine. But he can still kill us without, you know, creatures. Or without attacking with creatures because he has Deathrite Shaman, so. This is tough. Definitely want the Rest in Pieces. Definitely want the Back to Basics. Definitely want the Plow. Deciding whether or not the second moat is worth it. I'll try it out. It seems powerful. Actually, no, I don't want it. Changed my mind. I think we have enough answers to Tarmogoyf as is, so. It could be better than the Pyroblast, though. Pyroblast only really hits, like, him casting a Shardless. It hits Ancestral Visions, which is obviously the most important card that it can hit. So, I'll just try it like this. Brought out the Snapcaster Mages because we brought in Rest in Peace, and he has Deathrite Shaman, so I guess I'd like to play first. Ooh, this hand is really bad. It doesn't have a top, which is, you know, definitely our main card and way of getting going, and it has 3/4 drops, so I think we have to mulligan. And this hand has 0 lands, so even worse, definitely have to mulligan that. This hand has 0 lands again, so another mull. Sure, I'll keep this 4-card hand. Back to Basics. I guess that's like one of our best ways to maybe win this game, so I'll keep it on top. So definitely not casting the Brainstorm on turn 1, because that doesn't advance our board state at all. On turn 2, though, I think I'm going to fire it off, because we need to find lands. Alright, Ancestral. That sucks for us. Brainstorm. No land. Perfect. At least we have a Ponder, though. The Ponder is going to help a lot. We're basically going to Force of Will, pitching Back to Basics on anything that threatening, because we just died something like a Goyf in this game, I feel like. So, Ponder. Ooh, 2 fetch lands. That's very good. I kind of wish I had kept this in a little bit of a different order, in case we decide that we want to cast a Back to Basics, but meh. Pithing Needle. So the thing is here, if we let Pithing Needle resolve, then he's just going to name Flooded Shred. But we want the cards that are on top of our library, so I definitely just want to Force of Will this. As bad as it seems, I think it's the best play. And if he taps whatever... Oh, he got Basic Swamp. I did not know his deck played Basic Swamp. I suppose some lists play a couple basics, though, so that makes sense. So our top two cards are Fetch Land and Plow, both of which are great. Him resolving the Ancestral Vision is going to be horrible for us. Just going to play top, play Tarn, and pass. I was considering, you know, just jamming off back to basics if he hadn't fetched up a basic or played a Deathray Shaman, and he did both of those things. So I think back to basics is much worse than it might be normally. So K-Grip, our top. That's not very nice. So honestly, this may be our best turn to cast back to basics. We want this Plow. We can get Island Plans and play back to basics. It's not the greatest thing ever, but it's good. It will definitely help a lot. But he does have this Ancestral Visions resolving this turn that we can't counter, so it's not going to do, you know, it's not going to do everything. Man, really taking a toll of how slow I'm playing here. 5 minutes left on the clock. Strix, that's fine. Definitely going to Plow this Deathray Shaman. Leave him with as little resources as possible. Ooh, yeah, he didn't draw very many lands off of the vision, so... And like, every time that he does get a land, he only gets to use it really like one time, so... No! He thought he's got a spell? That's unlucky. So maybe it was wrong to board out all the Snapcasters here. Maybe I'm just being results oriented because the Snapcaster would just be a great draw. But we did board in like Rest in Pieces, so I figured Snapcaster would generally be much worse. So he plays him in his deck, which, yeah, I'm just going to play his land. Can't really afford to get blown out by something like him if he, like, you know, decides to use this Underground Sea, so. No! Verdant Catacombs. Hopefully he doesn't play Basic Forest, too. Because that would just be annoying. He probably plays Basic Forest, though. Ooh, no Basic Forest. So that's actually great for us. Oh, no. He's Abrupt Decay, too. Yeah, that sucks. Looks like we're dead. We could draw something like a Jace, I suppose, but not looking great for us. And also just not very much time left on the clock. Is this his own Jace? If he's playing Jace here, then we are dead for sure. What is he casting? Why didn't he Wasteland us? Why would he cast Jace like that? I hope he gets punished. I hope he puts it on bottom, and then we just draw like Entreat the Angels for 3. Ooh, or Jace. Ooh. So we actually got Jace and Entreat the Angels. I'm gonna put it back. Entreat top, so that he puts the. He'll probably plus put the top on bottom. Then we'll draw the entreat. And then miracle it, sack this, miracle for 3. Brainstorm, that's fine. Jace was definitely one of our best draws, if not the best. Fetch. Brainstorm, okay. Next leveled. We could have put the entreat on top, but then I would figure that's possible he plus with the Jace. So I put the top on top. Getting a little punished, but we're still like in an okay spot for being down to like 5 cards to 0. Just because Jace is so good and Entreat is so good, but definitely not feeling favored here. Liliana, man, card's no fun. All right. Actually, I don't think I'm fetching here, so I should probably just F6. Getting aggro at that Jace. Okay. Alright, Jace. Let's keep up the brainstorms. Ooh. Okay, I probably should have brought in more Power Blast in hindsight. I just realized that it kills Jace dead, so that's a pretty valuable thing. Huh. So if we win this game, it's going to have to be in short order. That definitely involves Entreat here. But I also really want to kill his Jace. So maybe I just stop on his upkeep, then draw with top, pop, Pyroblast, make 2 4/4s. That's probably not enough to win the game, so I think I'm just going to let him have the Jace for now. Man, so wow, okay, so that worked out pretty perfectly for us, I think. I'm going to draw with top. It kind of sucks to shuffle away the top. Miracle trigger goes on the stack. Get a Valk. Cast it for 2. And then Pyroblast the Jace after it resolves. So it's good that he didn't use the Jace before the Lily, for us at least. Alright, yeah, that turn worked out way better than I had imagined. If he has a Force or something here, that's kind of annoying, but... And he even has to discard a card to Liliana, so... He will be able to kill one of our 4/4s if he attacks with the Strix, but, I wonder what's in his hand. He hasn't really been casting all that much this game, so... Hopefully it's just like crows and grips and stuff. Drawing the second Entreat would be really, really nice here. Or even just like a Terminus and then the second Intrude or something. I don't know. We don't have an insane amount of time just because I have been thinking through my plays a lot. So it's been pretty slow. But Shardless Agent, Cascade, Death Raid, okay. Definitely one of the better hits for us. I wonder what he's casting. Blue-green. Another Shardless. Cascaded into a Thoughtseize. That's great for us. So his hand's actually, or I mean not his hand, like, he's one card left. Yeah, just happily block there with a 4/4. Brainstorm. Cavern Soul, Spell Snare. Play this Caracas. I kind of just want to Brainstorm again. Okay. That's not great for us. Yeah, I definitely shouldn't have played the land before I Brainstormed. That was super dumb. Because then we'd actually be able to play the Strand here. And then would be in better shape. But unfortunately, I messed up a little. Oh, and the Visions is coming off this turn? Yeah, so we're really far behind. So since we only have a minute 50 left on the clock, I think it's impossible for us to win both this game and another game. So I'm just going to concede here so we can move on to the next match because, you know, I don't want to make you guys sit through all this. So I think could have played this game a little better, but I think I could have played game one a little faster. There were a lot of decisions where I just took a lot of time because I'm just not that familiar with playing Miracles yet. But I do love the deck. It's super cool. So hopefully I play the next match a little better. I'm just going to concede this game. Alright, so yeah, I'm not really sure exactly how good the Shardless matchup is. Decay is definitely very good. They have value cards in Shardless Agent. They have Planeswalkers. All good ways at fighting against, you know, Counterbalance, Lock, and Jason stuff. But I think that the matchup isn't horrible, though. I think I could, if I'd played a little better, it would have been a little more favorable. Especially with Joe's list, because he plays them in X Spell Snares, which is really good against Baleful Strix. It's really good against Thoughtseize. I mean, sorry, not Thoughtseize. It's really good against Tarmogoyf.